Welcome to the Big Money Speaker Series, June 2018. Tonight we have Mary Culler, the Executive Director of Stream Teams United. Mary's been working in and on and about streams for almost 15 years now, working for government agencies and now for a nonprofit. And she's going to tell us about Stream Teams United, which I'm not going to go into at all. But at the end, I think there's a raffle for a T-shirt for a Paddle Mo T-shirt. And Mary will also explain to you what Paddle Mo is. Mary Culler.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Larry. I just want to say thanks to Larry and also Healthy Rivers Partnership for inviting me here tonight. As Larry said, my name is Mary Culler, and I'm the brand new Executive Director of Stream Teams United. So tonight I'm going to share a little bit about what Stream Teams United is, what we've done in the past, who we are, share with you a little bit about myself, and then talk about some of the things that our organization is looking at doing in the future. I did have the opportunity to speak at the Big Money Speaker Series in St. Charles in May. And there was another speaker after my presentation, and he ended up reading some poetry. And that was something I didn't know we could bring poetry to a Big Muddy Speaker Series event. So I decided to bring a little poem of my own. And since we're in a coffee house and a theater, I just thought that might be appropriate. So this is a poem that I wrote about 10 years ago. And as I'm reading it, just think about if you know the place that I'm talking about. Okay, so this is called the River Road. So listen, take the river road on a sunny day, 'cause that's where the wild things come out to play. Where muddy flats stretch out and corn husks sway. Trust me, take the river road today. Take time to park and watch the teals glide in, or spot the eagle perched atop the bluff, and when you think you've seen enough, wait till dusk, 'cause that's when the wild things come out to play. When the sun paints the river red, out from the rushes and the reeds spring throngs of tiny peeping frogs that hop across the gravel road, and glancing up the marsh a mile, you guess there must be thousands of these little beings, which makes you smile. You are not alone. And then there comes a drone, a jet boat flying up the river run, nighttime seekers of big muddy fun, their radio crackling out a good country song. Then passing by the great bur oak, you pause to say a little thanks for just being able to feel the cool breeze on your face. So trust me, let your heart go wild and take the river road today. So, does anybody have a guess where that was, what place that is about? I came from that area today, and I got rained on in this town. So. By the bur oak tree. So Eagle Bluffs Conservation Area near McBain, and that's the champion bur oak tree that you may see in different publications and whatnot. So anyway, thank you for letting me share that poetry that I've been kind of sitting on for 10 years. But so, I think, one of the reasons I wrote that is I've been inspired by rivers and river places near rivers, and also just have a general love for rivers. And so if you're here in the audience today, I'm sure that's one of the reasons that you're here. You love rivers, and you've been inspired by rivers. So I'm going to share just a little bit about what Stream Teams United is, who we are and what we do. So our organization is a nonprofit 501c3. We were formed in 1999, so next year will be our 20th anniversary. And the name of our organization is the Missouri Stream Team Watershed Coalition. In 2017, we adopted a trade name called Stream Teams United that just allows us to have a little bit shorter of a name. So Stream Teams United, or Missouri Stream Team Watershed Coalition, is essentially the same organization. And we're made up of 19 stream team associations from around the state. And so this map shows the location of those associations. And so association is basically if two stream teams form to work together on projects, they can be an association. So this is a list of our 19 stream team associations. I live north of I-70. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. We do have one organization in northern Missouri called Green Hills River Watch. We have one organization in the Boot Hill, one in that Osage Plains area, several in the Ozarks, and then also some in each of the major metropolitan areas in the state. And then here in Kansas City, we have Little Blue River Watershed Coalition, and then to our south, the South Grand River Watershed Alliance. Okay, so what do we do? Because we're of that 501c3 status, we have the ability to apply for and receive funding on behalf of our stream team associations. You know, your normal stream team, maybe just be a group of volunteers, they don't have a 501c3 status, so that's something that we can apply for funding on behalf of stream teams and on behalf of our associations. And our organization focuses on the three main focus areas of the Stream Team program, which are education, advocacy, and stewardship of Missouri streams. And so we facilitate communication among these 19 associations. And like Larry said, I did work in government for about 11 and a half years here in the state. And as a non-government organization, I think that there is a real role for a non-government voice in Missouri to promote the stewardship of Missouri streams. Okay, so I am the second executive director of this organization. Holly Neal was the first. She started in 2010 and worked for 7 years for the organization. So many of you may know Holly. She went on to work with the Nature Conservancy, and she's still headquartered out of Springfield. So I'm going to just touch on a few of the things that she accomplished with Stream Teams United during her time. So in the upper left-hand corner, we have something called the State of Missouri Streams. And so one of the questions we always have from stream teams is, what happens with the data once I collect it? And so in 2010, there was an effort to summarize and compile the volunteer data, and so 2 reports were made at that time, and it was done through our organization, but working with Dan Obrecht and Tony Thorpe at MU. And one of the reports summarized the invertebrate data, and the other summarized the chemistry data. Okay. Holly also worked in 2012 to get a new slogan for the state of Missouri, the Great River State. And so we do have a license plate that is a specialized license plate for Stream Team, and there's been a couple different designs of that. That's something that our organization promotes Missouri as the Great River State. So we also have a constant contact bulletin service, and so in the middle you can see an example of one of our bulletins. We send this out weekly, typically on Fridays, and we have over 6,700 email subscribers now. So, you know, through that service, it's a way that we can communicate to stream teams and interested persons all across the state. So the form of our bulletin right now is we have information about news clips, about basically news that's of what's happening related to water in the state of Missouri, but then also across the United States. We also, and if you look in the upper right-hand corner, one of the things that our organization does is tracks the bills in each that are moving through the legislature during the state legislative season, and we provide what we call legislative lookouts. So this is, they're bills that we are looking at that may have a potential impact on water quality in the state, either in a positive or negative way. And so through this constant contact service, we also have the ability to send out what we call advocacy alerts. So if there's a public hearing on a bill, it's a way to get that information out to stream teams or anyone else that's signed up for that email service. In 2016, Holly and Stream Teams United organized the first ever paddle mow trip. And I know some folks were talking about the MR340. So the paddle mow trip is not a race. It's 100 miles in 5 days. It's the last 100 miles of the Missouri River. It starts in Herman and goes to basically the Mississippi River, and you actually get to paddle on the Mississippi River for a mile. So this is a recreational and educational trip. Again, not a race. So it's a really good opportunity for people if they've never been on the Missouri River or just want to take a multiple day trip on the Missouri River. It's a good opportunity to get out there. And we stop at the historic river towns and eat some good food along the way. So it's a fun adventure, and we're making the plans for our third year coming up this September. One of the other things that Holly worked on during her time was the Missouri Clean Marina program, and she worked with Ozarks Water Watch down in Branson on this. And this is a program to designate marinas in Missouri, basically to recognize their environmental stewardship. So this began several years ago, and marinas can apply to receive this designation. So there's a checklist and inspection that they can go through, and then they get some promotional materials to basically show the public, we are a clean marina. We care about clean water in Missouri. And so then it also helps to promote to the recreational boaters, which some may be, out of state or tourists that may not have clean water on their mind, but when they see the flag, and it's a good way to remind them that don't throw your trash in our lake or don't spill things in our lake. So we do have several marinas at Table Rock Lake, and 10 marinas at Table Rock Lake, and 1 at Lake Taneycomo that have earned that clean marina designation. We also have some educational resources on our website, and then in the lower right-hand corner you see tires. And for anybody that's ever participated in stream cleanups, they know that once you pick up all this stuff and you get to where your end point is, well, what do you do with all this stuff? And so you normally have to arrange for a dumpster or whatnot. So with tires, one of the roles we can provide as a nonprofit is to apply for reimbursement funds. So if you take your tires to a disposal facility, a tire collection place, we can apply for funds to then reimburse a stream team. And the important thing with that is that it has to be requested before the cleanup. So if you're interested in that, contact me before your cleanup, and we can potentially help you out. Okay, so when I started just about 4 months ago, I knew with Holly's accomplishments over 7 years that I would have some big waders to fill. And I guess I'll get into talking a little bit about my background and where I'm from. I grew up in Springfield, Missouri, and went to Southwest Missouri State back when it was still SMSU. And that's where Holly actually received both her undergraduate and her master's degree. So I had the opportunity of knowing Holly, it's probably been 13 years ago or so. And so that's been helpful as I move into this role that I've established a friendship with her over the years, and so I can always pick up the phone and call her and whatnot. Okay, just a little bit about my background. So this is an interesting picture. This is a picture of the Conservation Department Protection Division personnel at Quiver River, which is in the St. Louis area, in 1946. My grandfather is actually in this picture, and my family, going back a few generations, actually immigrated from Germany to Washington, Missouri. And Washington, Missouri is one of the towns we stop at on the paddle mow trip. It's one of those historic German towns on the Missouri River, just downstream from you all. In 1946, my grandfather, which he was a first generation born in the United States, he was offered a job as a conservation agent, and that moved the family down to Greene County in Springfield. So my family then lived in Springfield from the 40s until the early 2000s. So when I look at my background, I feel a real connection to the Missouri River because of that family history there, but then also to Springfield in the Ozarks region. I guess to kind of finish my story, I did go to Iowa State for graduate school, but then in 2006, I moved back to the state of Missouri. I knew that I wanted to come back to Missouri and work in fisheries and streams in the state. So in 2006, I actually was offered a job back in my hometown of Springfield as a fisheries management biologist with the conservation department. And soon after, met my husband. He's pictured there on the right, and he loves fish as well. And so for love of fish, we met. He's from Northeast Missouri, where we live now, but we met when I was in Springfield, and these are just a few pictures of my fisheries career back in the early to mid 2000s, and the picture on the left is from some of my thesis work in Iowa and southwest Iowa. And then on the right is a trip to Alaska that I was able to take when I was in grad school. So obviously, a lot of love of rivers. These are some little critters that I know. My work over the years with conservation, I was spending a lot of time in rivers, and then after that I went to work for the Department of Natural Resources office in Macon, and my work kind of brought me out of rivers for a little bit, but now with this new position, I'm definitely very much back in rivers. And so one of the things is that I am passionate about these little critters, and these little critters mean the macroinvertebrates we all know and sample. They're pretty awesome. But then these are my two kids, and they're also some awesome little critters. So with my new position, I'm actually working out of our residence near our farm in northeast Missouri, and so that is one great benefit of my new position is being able to work out of our home area, but then also getting to work with back in the rivers and seeing these little critters that we're also passionate about. Okay, so that was kind of a background of who I am and some of the things Stream Teams United has done in the last 7 years. So what's next? So the Missouri Clean Marina program, we are looking at trying to expand that to Lake of the Ozarks, because that's obviously another one of Missouri's large recreational reservoirs, and there's a group there called Lake of the Ozarks Watershed Alliance that's working on clean marina there. So if you're a marina at Lake of the Ozarks, we'd love to have you in that program. And then we're also looking at updating our strategic plan and our bylaws for our organization. So when Holly came on in 2010, the group sat down and said, these are some things we want to focus on as far as education, advocacy, and stewardship. And now we're looking at how can we take what we've accomplished, but then what things do we want to focus on in the future. And of course, we're looking at developing a plan for capacity development and fundraising, because we are a nonprofit. We are needing to support our organization through various methods. And again, we do have Paddle Mo coming up September 19th through 23rd of 2018. And I do have some information about some things here on the table. So after we're done, if you're interested in Paddle Mo, and everybody please come up and get my business card. We also have some other things for some other events up here. Okay, like I said, I live up in northeast Missouri, so this map shows what we call the coalition units, I believe the watershed coalition units in the state, and so I'm in Area 4, and there's no associations up there. So one of the things I think would be a good thing for our organization is to have some more associations in northern Missouri, and also in your region, north of Kansas City, in the Grand River area and so forth. There's definitely room to have some more associations in the state. For our organization, we have a board that consists of 19 members. So each association has one person that's a board member, and then within that we have an executive committee. And so I just would like to recognize our executive committee. We have Danielle Hake. She's our current president, and she's with the River to Pear Watershed Coalition in St. Louis. Susan Rassman is with Big Piney River Stream Team out of Rolla. Bessa is our treasurer. She's out of River to Pear in St. Louis. Jeff, many of you may know him. He's the director of Missouri River Relief. He's our secretary. And then Steve Johnson with Missouri River Community Network is our current historian. So I am the only full-time employee with our organization, but then we do have, that awesome board of volunteers. We also have a part-time employee that works out of the Springfield area, Brooke Widmar. She's going to be a senior at Missouri State, and she's our operations manager, and she does an excellent job. Can't say enough good things about Brooke. And then just want to mention our association. So our website, you see at the bottom, is streamteamsunited.org. And so if you have never visited our website, go to it. There's more about our organization. And then talks about the associations. And, you can read through. Some of the associations have websites of their own. Some don't. But, you can read about what they're doing, just some truly amazing things for these volunteer-led organizations. Okay, so that's a little bit about us. Now, how can you participate in Stream Teams United? First, okay, if you're not a stream team already or a member of a stream team, first you could join a stream team. If you're a stream team but not a member of an association, you could join a stream team association. So the two currently in your area are Little Blue River Watershed Coalition and South Grand River Watershed Alliance. So if anyone has interest with those two associations, you can contact me and I can get you in touch with those folks. And then again, if you represent an area of Missouri that does not currently have an association, all it really takes are 2 stream teams to join up, and then we can have a new association. I always like to mention this: report your activities stream team program. So this is very important. I know there's a lot of things that volunteers do, and a lot of those activities do get reported, but some of them don't. And just when we're in the time when we're needing to justify, the funding of government programs and whatnot, and so just remember to report your activities to the program. And Stream Team does have a brand new website, and this is what it looks like. So you can report your activities online. Okay, advocacy. I mentioned that this is one thing that our organization does because we are that non-government organization. We track bills as they're moving through the session. We encourage stream teams to become involved. We have held advocacy workshops. And the one thing that I do is that I attend Clean Water Commission meetings on behalf of our stream team associations. We do have a picnic coming up. So this is the 22nd annual stream team picnic, and it has in the past been hosted by the Northern Ozarks River Partnership. They're out of the Merrimack River area, and so it's been called the Merrimack River Watershed Celebration for 21 years so far, and so Stream Teams United is stepping in to co-host that with them this year. And so anyone, it's open to the public. It's a family-friendly event, and it's just a fun day there at Merrimack State Park. We have a potluck barbecue, a tube down the Merrimack River. We have a raffle. We have kid games. So if you've never been to that, it's worth taking a trip across the state to Merrimack. And then Paddle, Missouri. I've mentioned this before, but this is really an awesome trip. And like I said, we're entering our 3rd year. It's 5 days. It starts at Herman, and then it ends on the Mississippi River. You get to paddle on the Mississippi River a little bit after the confluence. And so we do have, registration is open until July 15th. And we also have a 5-day option. We have a 2-day option for the weekend. So if you're not, if you like to do the 340, if you like to race, that's good. You're welcome to join us. But if racing's not for you, it's the perfect opportunity to spend some time on the river. And one of the things about this trip is it's not just a float trip. So we have educational stops along the way where we bring out river scientists and professional educators. And so a big part of it is also learning about the river and getting to tour and visit some historic spots as well. And these are just some more pictures of Paddle Mo and the fun time that we have. We're thinking about potentially, this is our 3rd year on the Missouri River for that stretch. We're thinking about potentially, expanding this in future years. There has been some discussion about, well, could we rotate between, the section we've already done one year and then maybe the next year move it up towards Kansas City, so we haven't gotten that far along with planning, but it's something that we'd like to at least think about. And also potentially, paddle Mo trips around other parts of the state, such as the Ozarks or whatnot. Okay, so I mentioned that we're working on updating our strategic plan for our organization, and so this is where we are currently looking for input from stream teams, and we currently have online a survey, which I'm going to show on my next slide, but we are hosting these meet and greets or open houses around the state. Tomorrow night we'll be at the River Center at 6 p.m., And if you want more information about that, you can talk to me after this. But Larry has set that up for us. So anyone's invited to come out 6 p.m. at the River Center. And that's really just an opportunity for me to get out and meet Stream Team folks that I don't know, but then also get your input about, you've seen what we've done the last 7 years. How can our organization best focus on, or what activities can we best focus on that will help to build an appreciation for rivers in the state of Missouri, expand the knowledge about watersheds, and promote clean water and promote streams. So if you want to come out tomorrow, we could do party number 2 at the River Center. Okay, we do have a live survey up till the end of July. And so if you're not able to come out to one of our meet and greets, it's a short survey, takes about 10 minutes. So you can go to our website, streamteamsunited.org, or our website is also mstwc.org. If you type in streamteamsunited.org, you'll get rerouted to the mstwc.org, and then it has to deal with that was originally our, and it still is technically our legal name for our organization. So, and that's on the website. We'd love to get your input and get your advice. And then I'm going to touch on just a couple things. Because we are that nonprofit, fundraising is something that we have to do. We can't operate our organization unless we do bring in some funds to do that. So one of the things we've just launched is called the Water Penny Club. And so this is a monthly giving club to Stream Teams United, and this can be found on our website. And so it's just kind of a challenge. Water pennies, if you're familiar with them, they are a aquatic beetle larvae that is found in streams. They are sensitive to pollution, so they like clean water. So the challenge with the Water Penny Club is for each stream team to donate a minimum of 100 pennies a month. So we're talking $12 a year. But we have a lot of, we have thousands of stream teams in the state. So if we have participation from even a fraction of those stream teams, this could have a big impact for our organization. So, and we'll be producing some bumper stickers to promote that you love clean Missouri streams by being a member of the Water Penny Club. One of the things that we have done in the past, and I believe this started in about 2014, is we have a personalized license plate that is available, and this again promotes Missouri as the Great River State. And so July is the time to renew or get a personalized license plate, and this is a $25 a year donation to our organization. Next year, 2019, is the 30th anniversary of the Missouri Stream Team program. And so you think back to 89, it doesn't seem like that long ago, I guess, but Missouri Stream Team program has done so much since 1989, and I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm sure we'll be figuring out the amount of tons of trash removed from Missouri streams and the number of tires collected by volunteers, in 30 years. Just amazing. And then for Stream Teams United, it's our 20th anniversary. So we're going to celebrate these anniversaries with a Stream Team party at Echo Bluff State Park, which is the newer state park on the Current River, November 23rd of 2019. So 16 months from now. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. It's not the Saturday after Thanksgiving. It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. And so we'll be getting more information out to everyone about this. And I'm nearing the end of my presentation. I just wanted to say thank you to all the people that make the Stream Team program possible. The Stream Team program in itself is a partnership with the Conservation Department, the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, and Conservation Federation of Missouri. And then, there have been over 5,600 stream teams formed in that 30-year period with over 90,000 citizen volunteers. I know I work frequently with the stream team staff at MDC and DNR, and they are really dedicated, devoted staff. And then also for our separate nonprofit, obviously we have a board of volunteers, and our associations are made up of volunteers. So just like to say thank you to them, and then all of the people and individuals that have supported our organization in the past. And so with that is the information that I wanted to share with you tonight. We will do a drawing for a Paddle Mo shirt here in a little bit. And then I do have some information up here at this table. I have my business card. I have more information about Paddle Mo. I have information about the Water Penny Club, the picnic. One of the organizations, one of our associations, like the Ozarks Watershed Alliance, has a race coming up on the Osage River this weekend, and so I think registration is still available. There's going to be a full moon, so they call it the Osage Howler. So that'd be a neat opportunity. And then we also have hard copies of our survey. If you would like to take one and fill it out tonight, or take one and mail it to me, or go online on the computer, any of those would be great. So I just thank you for having me here tonight. And with that, I think I will take any questions or comments.
Questions? What's the difference between Stream Teams and Stream Teams United? How come there's two organizations?
Right, and that's a good question. I think that's something that is kind of something that can be a point of confusion. Well, so Stream Teams are the volunteer groups, and that's the program that then has received some state sponsorship, So Stream Teams United, we're the nonprofit branch of that. So there's that role as the non-government organization, where we can do some activities where the state sponsors cannot. But it really takes both the nonprofit and the state working together.
Mary's not going to say it.
Well,
Advocacy.
Advocacy. Well,
Right.
that's one of those roles. Yes.
So right, and with the state and government organizations, they're basically not allowed to have an opinion, and so they've trained everybody in streams, and basically Stream Teams United works to get people working together, so that you've got that 5,000 whatever plus and 90,000 people that have been trained, and just getting us all working together and advocating for streams. When the Mary goes to the Clean Water Commission, the Farm Bureau's there, and they say, we have 90,000 people and this is what they think. Well, they don't all think the same thing, but they'll say that anyway. So now we can say, we have 90,000 people on streams and this is what we think, advocating for clean water.
Right.
And I heard some disturbing comments earlier at dinner about our environmental laws being some of the most lax in the nation. Our Department of Conservation is the envy of everyone because of the tax and the funding available for it. But for some reason, we don't think we should have to take care of our water and air. Those aren't questions for Mary, though. Any other questions?
That is a role that I play. Like I did, there was a bill that I testified about this legislative season, whereas, during my 11 years with the state, even though I had that master's and experience, that's not something that a state employee can do, is go and testify about legislation. So that is definitely one of the important roles that Stream Teams United plays in the state. Yeah.
So if you're not getting their emails, I highly recommend you sign up and get those weekly advocacy emails.
Okay, so you're talking about having opinions and stuff. What's some of the hardest oppositions that you face when you go in and talk to people? What's the biggest opinions that you have to overcome or you have to convince people of?
Well, I would say, our organization tries to provide information. Okay, so because we're a 501c3, we're limited in the amount of actually like lobbying that we can do. Okay, but we try to provide information. Okay, and there's a lot of organizations in the state though that I think are lobbyist organizations. In particular, some of the large agricultural organizations. And so I don't try to do a job convincing them, but more or less just coming in with the information based on my experience of, working in rivers and working in streams and whatnot. And then just being that other side that's present, because you have one side that may say, well, we need to decrease regulations because we don't need this. And so it's just, we can play that role of being the side that says, well, we do care about streams, we do care about clean water, we don't want to decrease in the authority of the Clean Water Law and so forth. But yes.
Is there any plans to get a river keeper for any of the rivers in Missouri?
Yeah, so that's a good question. The question was whether or not there was a plan to get a river keeper. And I've actually seen in the St. Louis area some organizations that identify with river keeper, and I'm not quite sure who they are exactly. So that's something I need to investigate. I've speaking with someone in the St. Louis area, and they say, well, Missouri has so many river organizations, it's hard to really know what people are doing. And so Stream Teams United, in a sense, forms an umbrella to say, okay, who are the water quality river groups in Missouri? And they don't fall under us, but they funnel into us. Or they could go to our website and say, learn about all the other groups in the state. But then there's some other ones out there that I'm not quite sure who they are. So that's something I need to investigate.
So even though Stream Teams United represents stream teams and people that love rivers, and go to the Clean Water Commission and make them aware that these people, we are out there and we do care about our rivers and streams. Try not to be confrontational as much as educational, and so that's how this the paddle mow is just got to be the ultimate educational tool, to take people out on that river for even if you can only do it for one day. It's a totally different experience. But just getting all of us working together and aware of each other and aware that we're not alone and that we have a voice too, and put that out to the state. But definitely not the Sierra Club or even River Keepers, which is has a tendency to be litigious. Any other questions? So tomorrow night at Healthy Rivers Partnership, it's informal conversations. Mary will be there. We'll have some other stream people there. We're going to have native plant people there. Beer and wine, complimentary beer and wine, and soft drinks. And for those of you who have been down there before and know how hot it is, we do have an air-conditioned area now in the main warehouse. And then it'll cool off in the evening, and we'll be up on the rooftop after a while. So come down to Healthy Rivers tomorrow.
Okay, and I'm going to do a drawing for a T-shirt. We do have a question, though, in the back.
The River Center? Yeah. That's just the building we're in. That's what we're calling it. We've been there for 4 years, Healthy Rivers Partnership and Little Blue River Watershed Coalition. And we do education programs out of it. It's in the West Bottoms, 815 Woods Weather Road. So it's 1 block west of the Broadway Bridge on Woods Weather Road, which is the first road by the Missouri River. So you basically just go underneath the bridge, and we're at the first intersection.
Very good.
We'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Well,
so you're not the only one that has kids. There will be kids there tomorrow.
Okay.
And I don't know if I should mention kittens.
Kittens.
They seem to come with the place. Let's draw. With every T-shirt, you get 1 free kitten.
Good. Okay, I'm going to do a drawing. And I just want to thank you all for coming out tonight, and thank you for the work that you do as a stream team volunteer. Okay, the winning ticket for the paddle mow, and I have 2 T-shirts. I've got an extra large and a medium. So I'll do 2 drawings, and you can pick whoever gets the 7 742. The last three digits are 742. Okay, and then I'll do the next one, 749. There's a, thank you.
He wants the extra large.
Okay, there you go. 749.
I don't know. Okay, so this is 749.
We have a winner.
You got it? All right. Here you go.
749.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Larry. Is Wendy going to be there tomorrow night?
I don't know. What? You have a tree question? I will call her and tell her to be there. Okay. I guess we'll wrap it up then. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you.